The search for the sources of the Nile was one of the most thrilling and dramatic geographical quests of all time, a saga filled with mystery, hardship, rivalry, and triumph that stretched across centuries of human curiosity. From the days of the Pharaohs, the river was seen as a divine gift, the beating heart of Egyptian civilization, yet its beginnings remained hidden in the mists of legend. Ancient Greek thinkers such as Herodotus openly confessed their ignorance, while Roman emperors even dispatched expeditions to penetrate deep into Africa, only to be stopped by hostile terrain, disease, and endless swamps. Medieval Arab geographers speculated about the fabled Mountains of the Moon, a range shrouded in clouds where snow-fed streams might have given birth to the mighty river. But for all the myths, no outsider had ever seen its true source, and for millennia, the question, "Where does the Nile begin?" remained one of the greatest enigmas in geography. Everything changed in the 19th century when European explorers, driven by both scientific curiosity and the imperial ambitions of their nations, turned their attention to the heart of Africa. The river's two great tributaries complicated the puzzle: the Blue Nile, which gushed from Lake Tana in the Ethiopian highlands, and the White Nile, which meandered northward for thousands of kilometers from an unknown origin. The Blue Nile source had been identified by Jesuit missionaries as early as the 17th century, but the White Nile defied discovery, vanishing into vast wetlands such as the Sud, where boats became trapped in impenetrable vegetation and entire expeditions were lost. Into this dangerous and forbidding world stepped two of the Victorian era's most famous explorers: Richard Francis Burton, a linguist and adventurer fluent in dozens of languages, and John Hanning Speke, a soldier and hunter eager for fame. In 1857, they embarked on a perilous journey across East Africa, plagued by fevers, blindness, and constant exhaustion. Burton nearly died from illness, while Speke went temporarily blind in one eye, but against all odds they pressed on. In 1858, Speke stumbled upon a vast inland sea that shimmered under the African sun. Overwhelmed, he named it Lake Victoria, and in that moment he became convinced he had found the long-sought source of the Nile. Yet this triumph immediately turned sour, for Burton doubted his claim, arguing that without tracing the river itself from the lake to Egypt, Speke had no conclusive proof. The disagreement sparked one of the fiercest rivalries in the annals of exploration. Upon returning to Britain, the two men clashed publicly before the Royal Geographical Society. Burton dismissed Speke's discovery as premature speculation, while Speke, equally stubborn, insisted he was correct. Their feud reached a tragic climax in 1864, when, on the eve of a scheduled public debate, Speke died in a mysterious hunting accident, officially ruled a mishap, but long rumored to be suicide, leaving the controversy unresolved and shrouded in drama. Yet the Nile would not keep its secret for long. Determined to settle the matter, Speke's companion James Augustus Grant and later the intrepid Samuel White Baker pushed further along the river. Baker's discovery of Lake Albert in 1864 revealed another crucial piece of the puzzle, and he too endured incredible hardships, traveling with his wife Florence through hostile territories and nearly starving before they could announce their findings. The final confirmation came in the 1870s from the relentless Henry Morton Stanley, the journalist-explorer who had famously located the missionary David Livingstone. Stanley circumnavigated Lake Victoria and traced the waters flowing from Ripon Falls into the White Nile, providing the decisive proof that Speke's intuition had been right all along. The great river, so long wrapped in myth, rose from the rain-drenched highlands of Rwanda and Burundi, feeding into Lake Victoria before beginning its long march to the Mediterranean. The discovery of the Nile's sources was not merely a geographical triumph, but also a symbol of an age. It epitomized the courage, endurance, and insatiable thirst for knowledge that characterized the Victorian explorers. But it also carried the shadow of empire, for these same expeditions paved a way for European colonial domination of Africa. To the explorers themselves, the conquest of the Nile was a battle against nature and ignorance, a chance to carve their names into history. To the world, it was the solving of one of the oldest riddles of antiquity, a riddle that had tantalized the minds of Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, Arabs, and Europeans for more than 2,000 years, finally revealed through human tenacity, ambition, and no small measure of suffering.